Hey everybody, welcome back to math class. Today we're going to look at scale drawings and how this works in relationship to similar figures. So a scale drawing is something that is actually used. This lesson is how what we've been doing applies to the real world outside of the school building. Architects use scale drawings. On a map, you see scale drawings. Artists use scale drawings all the time. um, Animation, you can find scale drawings everywhere. In movies, they build like sets that are tiny, but they have to make everything to scale so that it looks right when they like film the movie in there. So scale drawings you actually see everywhere, or scale models. So scale is it tells you how much each unit represents. Tells you how I'm going to rephrase this. Tells you how the model relates to real life. Tells you how the model relates to real life. So if I'm going to draw something on paper, but I'm actually going to build it, the scale tells me how that paper drawing relates to the actual thing I'm going to do. An example of a scale, you've seen one on a map, is 2 inches represents 6 feet. 2 inches. And then when you see these two dots, represents 6 feet. So those two dots we say represents. Represents. So on my paper, which one of these units am I using? Am I using inches or feet? Inches. So when I'm writing on the paper, I'm going to draw 2 inches, but then in real life, that means 6 feet. You can also simplify your scale. So if 2 inches represents 6 feet, 1 inch represents how many feet? 3 feet. Because that's half. Half of 2 is 1, half of 6 is 3. So these are proportionate. We're going to look at these like ratios. Over here, if I drew a rectangle. Oh, another place you see scale drawings on a cereal box. If you ever see the phrase, they have to put it on the box that says, like, this isn't the actual size of the cereal. We've blown it up to show you texture. I think that one's on the mini wheat box. Next time you're at the store, look. So this side is going to be 2 inches, and this side is 5 inches. Obviously, it's not actually, but go with it. The first thing we do, step one, we are going to write the scale. Step one, write the scale as a ratio that looks like a fraction. Label your units. This is huge for this lesson. Label your units. So I have 2 inches is 6 feet. I'm going to use that one in case you decide not to simplify. So step one, I've got 2 inches over 6. What's 6 again? Is it inches or feet? It's feet. Just making sure you're paying attention. All right, that's step one. You just take these numbers and you write them like that. It doesn't matter which one's on top or bottom. You get to decide. Just stick with it. All right, the next thing we're going to do, we are going to pick a number from we're trying to figure out how much these represent in the real world. So we need to pick either 2 or 5. So pick measurement, just one, and match units. Pick a measurement and match the units. So I'm going to go with 5. Why? I don't know. Is this 5 inches or is this 5 feet? It's 5 inches. So is inches on top or is inches on bottom? Inches is on top. So I'm going to put 5 inches next to 2 inches because they're both inches. Now, I don't know how many feet this represents, so I'm going to put an X right there. So I pick my measurements, I match my units, put X for the missing measurement. X is the missing measurement. All right. Next up, we have a proportion. What do we do with proportions? Cross, multiply, and divide. So step 3, I'm going to solve my proportion. So 5 times 6 is 30. And then divided by 2 is 15. Now, that means that 5 inches on paper represents 15 feet in the real world. Now, I only did this side. Now I need to do this side. So once you get to step 3, if there are other measurements, you go back to the top and repeat with the other measurement. So I write my scale. How am I going to write my scale? 2 inches over 6 feet. Okay. Now, what number is going to go on top here? 2 inches. Because I already used 5, so now I'm using 2. So 2 inches goes here. And what technically goes here? Technically, it's X. Because it's my missing piece. Now, look at your proportion. What is X? X is 6. Because it already told you that 2 inches represents 6 feet. So if this is 2 inches, it represents 6 feet. You don't even have to solve that one. All right. Let's look at another one. I'm going to scooch it down. I hope you wrote down your steps so we can just work this one out. I have a rectangle that is 12 centimeters by 9 centimeters. 12 centimeters by 9 centimeters. All right. My scale is 3 centimeters. Represents 4 meters. And this is the model, and this is real life. All right, so go ahead and work it out. I'm going to set up my first part, 3 centimeters over 4, 3 cm over 4m. And I'm going to do 9 first. So my missing measure, or the first, I'm going to use 9. I'm going to put 9 centimeters here and X here. Go ahead and solve. How much is X in this situation? X comes out to 12 in this situation. So that is 12 meters. Because 9 times 4 is 36. And then 36 divided by 3 is 12. All right, now we need to do 12. So if I have my scale, 3 centimeters represents 4 meters. And instead of 9 centimeters, what am I going to put here? 12 centimeters and X. Go ahead and solve for X. X is 16 here. X is 16 because 12 times 4 is 48. And 48 divided by 3 is 16. All right, you guys, good luck. Y'all are going to do great. It's just like similar figures, but with different measures. Label your measures. Don't put centimeters next to meters. They don't go together. Put centimeters next to centimeters. Put inches next to inches. Don't get your units mixed up. I will see you guys next time. Later.